Morning and welcome to all of you that could make it here today. Thank you for joining us for another webinar highlighting products that integrate with Sage 100. Today we're going to be reviewing a product called Credit Hound for Sage 100, and our presenter will be Tyler Bremner. Tyler is a global partner that works with customers across North America, Africa, and the Middle East. She specializes in assisting businesses with accounts receivable automation, which includes improving efficiencies and increasing cash flow. Tyler has 11 years of sales experience and loves to solve customer problems, don't we all? So at this point, Tyler, I'm going to pass it over to you and let you get started there.
Thanks ever so much, and thank you all for taking the time out to join us today to learn how Credit Hound can help you improve your cash flow and your accounts receivable efficiency as well, all for Sage 100. We will have time for Q&A at the end, so any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat box as we go through. But just to give you a little bit of an agenda, I'm just going to explain a little bit about who we are as a business, where Credit Hound has come from. And then I'll move on to some common accounts receivables challenges that you as businesses are very likely experiencing yourselves. Then I'll come on to how we can help solve those challenges. And then the fun part, I'll actually show you a Credit Hound demonstration so you can see it in action and how it will work. And as I said, we'll have some time for questions at the end as well. So I think all in all, this session should last around 30 minutes. Okay, so who are Dracer? So we're a UK-based business, if you can't tell by my accent. We're based in East Midlands within England. And we've been working in accounts receivables with our collections management software for over 20 years now. So it really is our speciality with understanding businesses' accounts receivables challenges. And we've really refined Credit Hound over the years into an award-winning product that's used globally by thousands of users, really to suit their needs. Our software is really built from customer feedback with a real deep understanding of the challenges that you'll be facing day in, day out. So to get an idea of why Credit Hound is needed, why do we need to automate our collections processes? Well, it starts with the invoice being paid late. So 1 in 10 invoices are paid late, and that totals $3 trillion globally. And actually, I think that figure is increasing. There's been a recent article stating that 50% of businesses now are expecting their invoices to be paid late. And with entering a recession too, this issue has never been more prominent. And as a business, we just expect that invoices get paid on time. It's something, it should be a no-brainer and that should be just done on time. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And 93% of businesses experience late payments from their customers. That's almost all businesses, and that's a global figure as well. And because of that, business spending on average 15 days per year just chasing these late payments that should be made on time. And if you think of what else could be done with that sort of time, and if we turn this into more of a proactive approach, and I'll come on to that later, you'll see how we can reduce the number of days it takes to chase customers. And on average as well, due to bad debt, companies write off about 1.5% of their receivables. And just to put it into perspective, for a $50 million business, that's $750,000 just being written off every single year. Now, every business is going to differ in terms of revenue and profitability and the amount of bad debt they have. And we do have a calculator where you can work out yourself how much can be saved by automating your accounts receivables process as well. Now, some challenges that those sorts of figures lead to. So what we tend to find is a lot of businesses that we talk to, before automating their AR processes, what they typically do is prioritise what debt they're going to chase first. And typically, the collection staff will be prioritising the largest debt first. Okay, so what they'll do, the minute that debt becomes overdue, they'll then get in contact with their customer, typically starting with the largest invoice first and working their way down. And the challenge with that is the smaller invoices will just never get chased, because every single week or month there's going to be larger invoices. So those smaller ones are just going to get missed. And similarly, what other businesses might do is chase debts that are most overdue first. But then again, this means that the newer invoices coming in aren't getting chased at all until they're past X date. And again, the less overdue days our invoices are, the better, because the better our cash flow and the better we can then forecast. Also, as a result of these issues, some businesses end up having to increase their overdrafts or borrow money from the bank as well, which is a very expensive way to deal with a cash flow problem. And as we've already touched upon, some businesses have to write off very old debt, again, which is money literally just thrown down the drain. Some businesses have to employ more staff to deal with the issue. And if you think of the average salary of a collections person, what that might mean to the business, just to get paid on time. Again, there's a solution for this outside of that. Outsourcing collections to a third party, again, quite a costly way of dealing with the problem, as well as then just taking away the option to pay by credit to their customers. We don't want to do that. We have a solution that can fix those problems without having to resort to any of these here. So why Credit Hound? Now, the very first thing that I'll say is we're going to turn a reactive process. So instead of chasing an invoice once it's already past due, we're going to turn that into a proactive process. We can send a reminder before that payment is due, and that's done automatically. So you don't even have to think. You don't have to run any reports or manually send any emails, make any phone calls. That initial stage is all done for you. It's all automated. And that's going to lead to more cash available for your business, because with a reminder email going out and then emails sent at a regular cadence, your customers are going to be more likely to pay you on time, because nobody wants to get chased for money. So they will see that email come in and think, yes, you need to pay that invoice. And again, because of this, you'll get a really quick return on investment from Credit Hound. Again, we do have a calculator which can show you exactly how much time and money can be saved. But it is a very, very quick return on investment with Credit Hound. And alongside that as well, it's very consistent communications with your customers, and it can improve that customer experience as well. So we'll be reducing your bad debt. We'll be taking away all that manual, time-consuming administration tasks that we all have to do day to day. And again, we're going to reduce the amount of debt and your exceeded payment terms. So just to give you a bit of an idea as well of what the process looks like before and then after Credit Hound. So as I've already touched on, so before using Credit Hound, most of that time spent is as admin tasks, running reports, going through them with a pen and a ruler even, or doing it on an Excel spreadsheet, whatever it might be, to understand what debt we have to chase. And then transferring notes from one system to another, checking to see if we've been paid, checking our diary to see who we need to email or phone, writing letters or emails, chasing, logging and resolving disputes, placing accounts on stop. You can see for yourselves there, that's a lot of admin. Whereas with Credit Hound, because we automate all that administrative side of things, all you're then left to do is maintain those customer relationships. So you'll still be making phone calls, you'll still have that relationship with your customers. You can hand the whole AR process over to Credit Hound, Obviously, having somebody there to support in the Credit Hound tasks as well is really helpful, and I'll show you how in the demonstration how the users can really help elevate that process as well. So why Credit Hound? Was a full cloud solution, so it's very quick and easy to get started. You can actually install Credit Hound within 30 minutes. It's very quick and easy to set up. And it's also user driven as well. So as users, you can install and configure Credit Hound. Again, just to go over, so we're going to automate those emails. Okay, and you're going to have a complete audit history within Credit Hound of all of the tasks and contact that you've had with all of your customers. You don't have to rekey any information from Sage because we pull all that information from Sage directly into Credit Hound. Reminders are sent automatically as a payment becomes due, but also before a payment's even due. We can track emails and phone calls within Credit Hound too, as well as managing disputes as well. And again, I'm going to show you all this in the demo, so I won't go too heavy into it. Yes. So this is the Credit Hound calculator link. So credithound.com/calc. Definitely urgeable to pop onto this URL. You can just pop in your own details regarding your business, and to give you an example, so a business with a $5 million annual turnover within 3 months can save $70,000. So you can see it's a really, really big return. So let's take a look at Credit Hound. Here we go. So what we're going to see as soon as we get into Credit Hound, we're presented with a dashboard. So straight away, we've got all of our key metrics displayed in front of us at a glance. So we can see our financial situation, so how much debt we have as a business at this current moment in time. This is all in real time. We can see how much of that is overdue. So this red section here, we've got just over $1 million overdue. We've got 767,000 not due yet, 58,000 sitting in dispute, and around 54,000 not yet allocated. So we get an idea of our financial situation straight away. And we've also got a bit of a visual here. So we've got that same information, but displayed in a pie chart. So you can see here, this red section is the section that we absolutely know that we need to work on. So if I click into this section, so it's all interactive, I get a list displayed to me straight away of all of those accounts sitting in overdue. Now I can then export that information to Excel, so I can get myself a really quick report of all of our overdue customers, how much they're overdue by, their credit limits, all that kind of information that we could possibly need is all held within here. So it takes us 2 seconds to get that kind of information. And I know without tools like Credit Hound, it can be really difficult to gather that information. So it makes it nice and easy to have it there ready to grab. We can also see our mini aged receivables as well, so 30, 60, 91, 20 days. We can see who's paid us in the last 7 days, who has our money, what's sitting in dispute, who we can't chase, so any emails that aren't already in Sage or Credit Hound, we can see exactly who they are and make sure we get their details updated as well. Now, the kind of bread and butter behind Credit Hound, and the reason everybody wants it, is because of the collection path. So this is where we're going to set up our rules to chase our customers. So you can have multiple collection paths because we completely understand you're not necessarily going to chase all of your customers in the same way. So it might be, you have your key accounts who you might only want to deal with by phone. So you don't have to include them in that collection path. You might have customers in different regions who need communications in different languages, for example. You would set up a separate collection path for those to make sure all of their communications are in the correct language. They're just a couple of examples. You can obviously tailor that depending on how your business works and how you operate. But if we just look into how a collection path looks, so this part here, so these are our actions for the collection path. And this is the cadence in which we're going to contact them. And here you can see the preemptive reminder. So this is the email that's going to go out before the invoice is even due. And it's just a very, very friendly, light-hearted reminder. You know, we're not chasing any cash at this point. We're just reminding our customer that they have got an invoice becoming due. If I hit edit, we can see what that kind of template looks like. You can see within the email as well, we're pulling fields from Sage. Okay, so it's going to be a customized email. We're going to be using the contact name, the invoice numbers, due dates, etc. All of that will be within the email. So it's very informative. They should know exactly which invoice you're talking about from that information there. Now, the reason, again, we do that 7 days before the invoice is due, I mean, you could choose to do it 7 days, 6 days, 5 days. Again, that's really customizable. But the reason we really recommend doing a preemptive reminder as well is because often when you start to chase an invoice, they might say, well, I haven't received the invoice, or they might have a problem. They might have a dispute. And what we're going to do is buy ourselves some time here. So if they do raise a dispute, we've got 7 days to fix that issue before the invoice is due. So we're still going to get paid on time. Whereas if we don't contact them till a week after the invoice is already due and then they raise an issue, it's going to be another week or so before we're able to get that money in. So at that point, we're already 2-3 weeks overdue. So that's what we're trying to cut down here, is that amount of time that the invoice is overdue. Following on from that, so if that invoice still isn't paid, we're going to send another reminder, and that's just a day after the invoice is due. So again, a friendly reminder to let them know that that invoice again is due. And again, we've got different templates here with different wording. So we've got friendly, mild, moderate, strong, etc. So the emails are just going to increase in the severity of their wording as time goes on. You can use our templates, or you can create your own and use your own wording. That's completely up to you. And you can have as many actions as you want. So we've stopped at the 21 days mark, at which point you'd probably expect a phone call or something like that. Again, it's tailored. It's customizable to every business. Everybody works differently. So you can have as many or as few actions as you like. And then you can filter as well on transaction amounts. So again, another reason why you might have multiple collection paths is due to the transaction amount. So for your larger invoices, you may want to chase them more frequently. For your smaller invoices, you may want to chase them less frequently. It's completely up to you. Those options are made available for you. Now, if I go into a customer, so if those emails have all been sent and I've still not got the payment, what I can do is go into an account and I can give them a call. So when I go into the account, I've then got more information displayed to me about this particular account. And this is where it becomes more of like a CRM system for collections, because what we'll start to see is all of the activity that's taken place on this account is recorded here. So if we've got multiple collection staff, for example, and we don't want to duplicate phone calls, I can see what's been done here. So if I saw my colleague has already contacted them, I know I don't need to do that. So we can see any emails that are recorded, so any automated emails, any manual emails as well. So we can just send a manual email by clicking this button. We can also attach invoices at this point too. So we've got a little attachment button here. So if I need to respond to an email and include the invoice, I can just grab it by uploading it there. And now if I'm going to give this customer a call, and I'm going to call them about this invoice here. I can hit log an activity. I can choose who I've spoken to. I can put what they've said. So we've got some reasons here, the most common kinds of reasons for non-payment. So if they're going to promise to pay in a week, I can then put some details down too. So payment made by ACH in 1 week as an example. What I can then choose to do is create a task. So this could be a follow-up task. So if I want to follow up in a week's time, so check if ACH received, and we do 1 week, and we can set a time as well, so we can give them till the end of the day. So let's go 5 o'clock before we finish. There we go, and we can assign it to somebody. So in this case, I'm going to assign it to myself because I want to follow up. If I'm not going to be here and I want my colleague to follow up, I can assign it over to them. Click save. And what you'll see is the call is logged here to the right. Now, because I've got this invoice selected, I'm only seeing activity for this invoice. If I remove it, I can still see that call has been logged, and I can see more information here as well. So that's as simple and as easy it is to record information in Credit Hound. Now, if they have disputed the invoice, so if I phone them and they're disputing the amount, all I need to do after I've logged the activity is click dispute, and straight away, again in real time, that information is then reflected on this panel here. Again, similarly, if I were to call them and we've resolved the dispute, if I select it again and hit resolve, once again that number's reflected in real time. So you're always seeing the most up-to-date and current information. Okay. Moving on to tasks. So this is where you're going to set yourself reminders. So if you know that you've spoken to somebody, again, like the example I just gave, and they've promised to pay you in a week's time, you want to follow up on that task. This is exactly where you'll manage these tasks here. And you can create as many tasks as you like. Again, we can assign them over to other users. So if you're the manager, for example, and you want to set various tasks for your team, it makes it really quick, easy and simple to do that. You can also then see any emails that are scheduled. So when they're due to be sent, you can see in this case, our collection path has already been run, so there's no scheduled emails at this moment in time. Now, here in this little bell icon here is where all your communications are kept. So any incoming or outgoing emails are held within Credit Hound as well. So it's all in one place. All of your tasks, which is essentially a diary, all of your communications, all of your customer information and collections information is all held in one program. So it just makes it extremely easy to use. Also being a cloud-based solution as well, we're constantly improving Credit Hound and adding in new features, and we really do get that from customer feedback as well. So it really is built around what our customers need and want. As you can see here, we've got new features, and it tells you a little bit about how to use them as well, which is great. You also have a Credit Hound tour already built into Credit Hound. So if you do have any new members of staff, for example, any replacements, it just makes it super easy for them to get started with Credit Hound. It's a very, very, very straightforward and easy to use piece of software. That's feedback that we do get all the time. But of course, for somebody new to it, they might just need a quick 10-minute overview from which they can watch this tour here, and that's available for all users. So that is Credit Hound in a nutshell. Okay. Just if we jump into questions, I'm just mindful of time. I think we've got a couple of minutes left. 1 second.
Yeah. Don't see any questions on either way around it. As far as I'm concerned, wow. That is actually probably the most detailed I've seen this, and was very impressed by what I saw. I mean, we get that question a lot from our clients of, do you have any type of software that would help us track the correspondence that we have with customers? And that looks like it will do it every which way and then some. So very impressed myself. I thought it looked very, very good, and I thank you very much, Tyler. If you guys have any questions we have not covered today, or would like some more information, or maybe a one-on-one demo, I'm sure that Tyler would be more than happy to do that for you. Thank you all for coming today. We appreciate everybody's time, and you guys have a wonderful day. Once again, thank you, Tyler, for the fantastic presentation. Really appreciate your time. Thank you all, and that is it for today. Thank you, guys. All righty.
Very much.
Bye now.